If you ever see this thing in my hand, showing up in your oil pan, your engine is due for a major overhaul. Hello everyone, welcome to Domestic Track Day Diary. Today, I received a bike from a close friend of mine. A Yamaha R1, the one right behind me. As you can see, we've already torn down part of it. We didn't record the initial footage just now. Why did he bring this bike to me? Because he said the engine was making a strange noise. It was very difficult to start. And once it did start, it kept making a loud rattling sound. After a preliminary inspection, we've already ruled out the basic, minor issues. The last thing we wanted was an internal engine problem. But now we have no choice, we're forced to do this. We have to drop and pull apart the engine now. Let's check if there's an issue inside the engine. My buddy really went all out with the mods. A K&N high-flow air filter. And a GYTR race windscreen. One, two, three, let's go. This CP4 engine from the Yamaha R1 is now officially out of the frame. And let's see exactly which part failed. We just removed the ignition coils and the spark plugs. Now, let's run a compression test. The purpose of testing compression is to see if the compression across all 4 cylinders is within the normal factory range. Cylinder 1 is at 13 bar. Alright, cylinder 2 is at 14 bar. The compression is actually quite strong. Cylinder 3 is also at 14 bar right now. The compression across these 4 cylinders looks pretty good. This proves that the sealing of the cylinders is in good condition. Since the engine oil had already been drained before the bike got here, we couldn't check for foreign objects just by draining the oil. So now, we have to drop the oil pan to check for any metal debris inside. Da-da-da-da. Can you guys see this? Unbelievable. Brothers, if you see what's in my hand right now, showing up in your oil pan, then congratulations, your engine needs a rebuild. A complete overhaul. It's shaved off completely clean. Looking closely at the oil residue. What on earth is this? Why is there so much fiber and debris? Based on our judgment just now, copper shavings have appeared in the oil pan, which proves there is an issue with the bearings. When a bearing issue occurs, it means the absolute core components of the engine need attention. The entire engine, including the cylinder head, cylinder block, and the entire crankcase, must be completely split open before we can even reach the rod and main bearings. Next up is the teardown work. The cylinder head assembly has now been completely removed. Look inside at the valves. The carbon buildup in the combustion chambers is severe. Look at the piston tops right now. A thick layer of carbon has formed there too. It's either due to poor fuel quality, or bad combustion altogether. Incomplete combustion. These are unburnt residues left sitting on top. We have removed the clutch side cover now. Look, the 21 model comes standard with a slipper clutch. Why does everyone say Yamaha clutches feel so heavy? Because it houses 3 clutch springs inside, and the rate on these 3 springs is incredibly stiff. That's why the lever pull feels so heavy. We've also removed the starter motor. While we're at it, let's inspect the clutch plates to check for wear and tear. Looking at the wear on the clutch plates, it appears to be within normal limits. Since we suspect a bearing issue, let's tap on them now to see which cylinder's rod bearing failed among cylinders 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's make a rough guess first. This one, aha. Hear that? You can clearly hear that this rod bearing is completely worn out. Initial assessment points to an issue with cylinder 1. Let's slowly rotate it over. Now, it's time to split the crankcase. Inside this oil strainer screen, there is a lot of metal debris right now. We must clean this out thoroughly. If it's not cleaned perfectly, Our lower crankcase half has now been separated from the upper half. After splitting the case, let's look at the main bearings first. For the most part, the mains don't have any major issues. Now that we've torn it down to the stage, let's listen closely. Earlier, by tapping on it, we determined cylinder 1 was the issue. Listen to this, everyone. Hear that? There is play and excessive clearance. Now look at cylinder 2. Cylinder 2 is solid. Cylinder 3 is completely fine too. Cylinder 4 has zero play as well. So, the problem lies right here. Let's unbolt this now. And the truth will be revealed shortly. The crankshaft journal and bearing are severely scored. Take a look at this bearing shell. The rod bearing from cylinder 1. The teardown work for this Yamaha R1 engine is now complete. We found the root cause of the issue. Severe wear on the cylinder 1 rod bearing. Looking at the corresponding rod journal on the crank, the wear is also extremely severe, showing deep grooves and heavy pitting. I'll give the owner a call in a bit, so we can discuss our options. After all, for such a high-revving engine, we'll need to replace the crankshaft, replace all the bearings, and we might even need to replace the connecting rod. All these parts will need to be brand new. I'll talk it over with the owner shortly, to see what he decides to do. Whether we use the journal regrinding and custom bearing matching process to repair and save it, or if we order brand new OEM parts to assemble it back together. Guys, we waited a month for these R1 parts, the brand new crankshaft and fresh set of bearings we ordered for him are finally here. Today, we can begin the reassembly work. Before we start putting it together, the most critical step is deep cleaning. We need to thoroughly clean the upper and lower crankcase halves, as well as every single small component, because the previous damage to the crankshaft and bearings generated a massive amount of metal shavings. If we don't wash them out completely, it will ruin the new components right after installation. Now, we are installing the camshafts. The full engine assembly work for this Yamaha R1 is now officially complete. The next step in our workflow is to mount this powerful heart back into the bike frame. These 4 are the original spark plugs. We're replacing them this time as well with a fresh set of NGK spark plugs. Alright guys, the overhaul work on this Yamaha R1 is finally complete. This time, we replaced the crankshaft, put in brand new bearings, and installed new spark plugs. All engine cleaning and routine maintenance are fully done. I bet you're all very curious about what exactly caused the crankshaft bearing to spin. Based on our experience, when we dropped the oil pan and got down to the crankshaft, we found shredded cloth debris inside. It's highly likely that this debris clogged the oil pump pickup and blocked the main oil lubrication galleries. At high RPMs, the oil supply starved, leading directly to the spun bearing. So, everyone really needs to take care of their beloved bikes. Be mindful, be diligent, and stay on top of it, just to prevent malicious intent, like someone tampering with your engine or adding extra ingredients. As you could see from the earlier clips, the carbon buildup on his pistons and combustion chambers was incredibly severe. I want to mention something to everyone here. The owner usually rides this bike quite gently. I told him directly, don't ride it too gently. Keeping the RPMs too low will actually lead to severe carbon buildup, because fuel in the combustion chamber doesn't burn completely. When appropriate, and while maintaining a safe and reasonable speed, keep it in a lower gear and let it rev out a bit. This helps clear out the intake and exhaust tracks to keep everything breathing smoothly. Now, let's fire up the bike so everyone can hear how the engine sounds right now, and see if there's any abnormal noise left. This full Akrapovič exhaust is absolutely deafening. That's a wrap.